Hello, parents. Welcome to fourth grade. I'm going to walk you through the ways to log on to our Canvas virtual course. And I'm going to start at Google because I think using an open browser is the best way. So, the first thing that you're going to need to do is make sure that you're using a Google Chrome browser because I've noticed that if we use Safari or Edge, sometimes it's going to give you issues. So, we want to go through Google Chrome if we can. If you don't have any option other than Edge and Safari, that's fine, but Google Chrome is going to be the most compatible. So, the first thing you're going to do is get to a Google site. You want to look for NC Ed Cloud. You can click the very first link. I'm going to try to log in as an incognito window so that it'll look the way your screen looks. So I'm going to go to Google, NC Ed Cloud, as if I've never logged in before. Here, you're going to type in your child's lunch number or their user ID. And by now, I should have provided that info for you. If you don't know their lunch number or their user ID, please see me and I'm going to grant you access. Once you do this, you're going to type in the case-sensitive password that I have provided you. Once you get to their page, and I have way more courses than they do, but you're looking for the red Canvas course, and that icon is going to take you to our classroom. And it should be called Homeroom. Once you're there, you're going to see so much information, you're not even going to know what to do with all of this information. So I'm going to walk you through some of the things that you want to use first. So you definitely want to meet the teacher so that you can find out a little bit more information about me. And you can interact with all of these links. This is my cell phone number, my two email addresses. So if you have questions, I will respond as quick as possible. I tell people try to give me a 24-hour window to respond. But these are my contact information if needed. The next important thing, the calendar, the live teaching times. So for our very first day to go live, you're going to use this, and it's going to look a little different than how we usually are going to interact, but I'll explain that later. These are some norms. These are going to be things that we normally do when the students and I will practice it. These are some suggestions as parents of things you can do to best serve your child. And then these are what I like to call results, meaning that depending on certain behaviors and student choices, there might be some results that come with those different student behaviors, and those will be reviewed during our first live meeting. In addition, you want to explore this tab. This is where all of our assignments live week to week. Obviously, we're out of the month of October, so you will go straight to September. I want to bring your attention to some important things. So every time you log on, I think it's important that you explore the announcements tab because that's going to give the latest information in order. But I also think it's equally important to explore a tab called student logins. And I think it's better to do it now than later. So if you go to the getting started, right? Because I want to know, how do I get started? How do I explore these things? Well, the first thing that you want to use is this. It says click here for more information. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger because this is where we're going to get the most bang for our buck. So when you click on this button, and this is going to be our homework for the first day of school, all of these sites and apps are things that students have access to. So for example, it says click here and use your student ID This hashtag makes you think you have to put in hashtag, but that actually stands for number. So if you're a millennial, you think that something's trending, but that really just stands for number. So put in the student number at stu.gcsnc.com, their birth date, and it's going to give them access to their own Microsoft email and apps. And that is going to make your life so much easier because, as you can see, Teams, which is a platform that we're going to use to meet for all our live classes, is an app that comes with their very own username and password. So as soon as they log in using this information, they log in one time and they're in forever. Another thing you might want to log into is they now have access to Google Docs, Google Sheets, and their own Google password. Again, their student ID number at mygcsnc.com and their birthday. And again, the great thing is they already have access to all these accounts. You type it in one time and you're good to go. And we're going to explore how they're going to use all these different platforms throughout this year. But I think that this is a great place to start. I would spend my entire first day making sure I can log in. I should have provided your username and your password, but if you don't know it, please see me and I will get that for you. Zscaler is something that some of you will need and some of you will not. So depending on what type of device you have, they are going to ask you to go through a Zscaler. And this is just a protection, a firewall that GCS has so that people can't log in. And there's a Spanish and English version. Sometimes you might get this to pop up. You're still going to put in their student number. It's just confirming that you're really have Guilford County credentials. You're going to put the student ID and their birthday, and you're going to get in, and you're going to have access to all of the sites. So that's a great place to start. I would make that my first day homework. Just make sure I'm logged into everything so that we can transition easily. If you're still having trouble with our virtual class in Teams, this is a document that walks you through how to access Teams, how to log in. Because our first week is just, can we get in, right? There's no point of me making all these cool lessons that nobody can access. So this walks you through all of the steps to get in so that you can interact with your classmates, your virtual live lessons, and things like that. If you're not a steps type of person, here's a quick video that you can watch that also models all of the steps. So I want you to know that's there. All right, so let's get into the fun stuff. Miss Dennis is going to teach 2 live lessons a day, 3 days a week, and 3 live lessons a day, 2 days a week. And what I mean by that is I'm going to do all things reading. I'm going to have a schedule here very soon that lets you know when I go live, and then something called office hours. And my office hours are going to be strictly to answer all of your technical questions. So if you're a person that's like, I still can't get in, I need access, that time blocked off will be when you can send me a dojo message. I can call you, I can FaceTime you and help you walk through whatever it is you need to get through. That's also a time for you to ask questions about lessons. And that'll also be a time where I meet with students one-on-one to work with them, to test them, to give them extra practice. So I wanted you guys to have just a quick overall synopsis of this is our virtual classroom. We're going to respect it. We're going to treat it well. And remember that no questions, no answers. I know that this is a lot, but we're going to get through it. And my goal is to make sure that I make this as painless as possible and as fun as possible with this virtual experience. So I'm excited to see everybody at the first live meeting.